everybody. This is Priscilla for the Evening Reader. How are you today? It's Tuesday, which means it's tag day. And I got tagged! By Kim at the middle of the book march to do the song tag. Yay. I don't know. Yeah, this one is exciting. This tag was created by Garrett, the Books, Songs, and Other Magic. And I've been watching all the other booktubers do this tag and thinking about my answers, even though I wasn't tagged, and now I've been tagged, and now, oh my gosh, how do I answer these questions? I don't know. Probably the only thing that I love more than books is music. Or books. Maybe I love books or music. Or books. Or music. Music. I think I do love music more because I think music spurs the imagination more. It like brings out your own imagination. Or at least it does mine. So this is just so cool. This is very, very cool. So, and I'm looking at my notepad because I've got some of my things written down here. I just got to visit Gareth's channel today. I had not visited it, but of course I did because of this. And he's a pretty cool dude. And he believes that all storytelling, the best storytelling is character-driven storytelling, no matter what the genre. Gotta say, I agree with that. That was his latest video, and I will link it down below. So this is pretty cool. How many times am I going to say it's cool? I think I'll just get started, so I'll stop saying that. I'll say other things are cool. Okay. All right. The first question is, name a song that always makes you happy. I think a song that always makes me happy is Dance to the Music by Sly and the Family Stone. That song always makes me happy, and it always makes me want to get up and dance. I love it so much. In second place, I get to have second place. In second place would be probably Bizarre Love Triangle by New Order, which always also is just it's got such a wonderful, wonderful sound. I just love it so much. I just love it so much. I sound like I've had 4 cups of coffee. No, but New Order always makes me really happy. It just is one of those bands. Some of their songs can be a downer, but it was hard for me not to pick that one. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Dance to the Music by Sly and the Family Stone. That's from when I was a really little girl, and we had that Sly and the Family Stone Greatest Hits 8-track, and also Sly Stone was born in Denton, where I went to school, and so Dallas area, and Texas representing. Okay, all right, move on. Name a song that's a great fit for when you're in a pensive mood. Sorry, I was like hamming it up today. Okay. On that one, I came up with 2 songs. Because I think 2 different types of pensive moods, really. The first one kind of being that soul-searching, what am I doing with my life? What's happening? I went with Logical Song by Supertramp. And because I think the lyrics, there are times when all the world's asleep, the questions run too deep for such a simple man. Won't you please tell me what we've learned? I know it sounds absurd. Please tell me who I am. I mean, that's pretty pensive. That's pretty soul searching. But the other one, and I didn't sing that, so you should thank me. The other one is Reflections by Diana Ross and the Supremes, which I just think is I know it's technically a breakup song, but I feel like it is a song that could also stand in for just feeling a certain kind of melancholy and nostalgia for different times of your life. And it's such a beautiful song, and her voice is beautiful. It's just, and the singing, the Supremes, just the harmony, and just, it's just a gorgeous song. So those would be my two picks for that one. Name a song that changed your taste in music. Well, a lifelong journey started when I was in the 6th grade, and every Friday night and every Sunday afternoon, I went with my best friend Brenda to the Odessa roller rink. And Odessa is in Texas. It's the home of the Permian Panthers, the football team that H.K. Bissinger wrote Friday Night Lights about, that became the television show Friday Night Lights. And yes, I lived there when I was a little girl, and I would go to the roller rink, and I don't know if it was the guy was the owner or the manager, but he had just really an amazing music collection, and that was the first place and time I ever heard Private Idaho by the B-52s. And that was in 1981. Yeah. And I was 12. And that set me on a path to punk, post-punk, new wave, any kind of alternative music. That was the beginning, that song. And I remember going and getting the albums. That was on Wild Planet, and I also got their first album, which was the one with the yellow cover. And I remember just staring at their pictures for hours and just thinking they were so cool. And I loved their music. I just loved the B-52s. So yeah, that was my first toe in the water that went beyond like the radio, because back then, back in the olden days, we were still listening to AM radio, really. And I don't know, I mean, I know like anybody under the age of 40 probably never listened to AM radio unless it was like for talk radio. And we did for music. And the thing about the AM channels was they played everything. So you would hear, like a Rolling Stone song, and then you'd hear like Blondie Heart of Glass, and then you'd hear Kenny Rogers the Gambler, and then you'd hear Chic's Le Freak, or Donna Summer's Last Dance or something. It was just everything that you could think of, they would play, except for things that were like pretty alternative. So that was the first time I really heard something that was completely out of the mainstream. Let's see. Name a recent song that you've just discovered and loved. Oh, I'm going to flub this one because I don't know the name of it. The latest Depeche Mode song off the new Depeche Mode album. This sounds like a Depeche Mode song off an old Depeche Mode album. But I really liked it. And I heard it on Rick Beato's channel. If you don't know Rick Beato, he's got a wonderful YouTube channel. It's just called Rick Beato. And he is a music producer and a musician. And he talks about all kinds of music and all kinds of aspects of music. He breaks down songs. He does top 10 lists. He does interviews and things. So that's a terrific channel. But he most recently, I was watching his channel, and he played a new song by Depeche Mode and a new song by Tori Amos. And I'm not the biggest Tori Amos fan. The song was pretty good, and she does have an amazing voice, but I really did like the Depeche Mode song. So I don't listen to a lot of new music, especially, I think probably in the last 3 or 4 years, I have not been listening to a lot of new music. I've been going more on deep dives of artists that I've maybe only known like 1 or 2 songs, and kind of going down those rabbit holes, and then also discovering new to me artists that were from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, that I just had never had time to explore. So I do hear a lot of new music, but I don't hear a lot of recent music. So if that makes any sense. Let's see. Name three bands or artists that you love. This is the meanest question. This is the worst question. It's like three bands from what genre? Three bands from what decade? Three bands. Oh no. How do you even, if you say rock music, what kind of rock music? I don't know. Uh, oh, this is just really tough. But I am gonna stay with rock music because that's probably the number one thing that I listen to. And so I've got like some foundational bands. So probably my first band, I grew up, my parents always had music on, and I grew up in a house. We didn't really listen to a lot of like Beatles, but we listened to a lot of Rolling Stones. And so that was like a first band that was probably the first rock band that I ever really listened to, but that's not on my top three, even though I do love the Rolling Stones. My band that I discovered from that era, I didn't discover them, but they were my favorites. That they were the one that I really found that I loved is Led Zeppelin. That's probably my favorite band of all time. Uh, I just think they're amazing. I love their music. I've listened to all their albums. They are the one band that has stayed with me through thick and thin. And I don't know, maybe I don't know how younger people feel about them. I certainly they would probably be canceled the way they sing about women, but I've got a counterbalance to that at the end of this list, so I don't care. I just love them. I love their music, so that's my first band. My second band is The Police. The Police were absolutely one of my favorite bands. When I was in high school, I was just mad about them. I was very lucky. I got to see them play on their Synchronicity tour. I saw them play at Reunion Arena in Dallas in 1983. Wow. That was not 40 years ago. Oh, okay. Um, Yeah, but The Police, because there's nobody else like them. There never has been anybody else like The Police. And they just were so unusual, had their own sound, and a very sophisticated sound that really, I think, gave me what do I want to say? Just an appreciation and a foundation for listening to music that didn't just follow standard patterns. Yeah, I'm not a musician, so I'm not gonna be able to use any fancy terminology there. And the third band that I love, and I have to kind of put a little asterisk on it because they're my favorite band with their drummer that they had for a long span of their career, who's their drummer's no longer playing with them. She left the band a couple of albums ago, and she wasn't on the first two albums, but anyway. And that is Sleater-Kinney. And they are a band out of Olympia, Washington. You may know Carrie Brownstein. She was on the show Portlandia with Fred Armisen, and she also wrote the memoir Hunger Makes Me a Modern Girl, which is actually also the name of a song that she wrote that was on their album The Woods. I love them. Corinne Tucker, I love her voice. It's an acquired taste. But it's very powerful, and so it's three women. So it was Corinne Tucker, Carrie Brownstein are the basis of. They've always been the two in Sleater-Kinney, and then the drummer that I loved that left. She was with them for a long time, starting with their '97 album "Dig Me Out," and she actually left in 2019. Yeah, she left the band in 2019 when I can't remember. The Center Won't Hold was the album, the last album that she was on. I don't particularly like that album, but anyway. I'm babbling. Yeah, I love them. I just love them, and I love girls rocking out. I just think it's very cool, and they're really good. All of their albums are very different. They're often billed as like a riot girl band, but what they really are is just an awesome, straight up punk rock and roll band, and so I highly recommend them. All right, next. What instrument would you like to be able to play? I would like to be able to play Well, my favorite instrument is the cello, so I feel like I should say cello. Cello. I can't not do that. Uh, I feel like I should say cello. I do love classical music, but I'm gonna say guitar because I think it would be really cool to be a rock star. I think it would be very cool to be like, like my my people I like Corinne Tucker or Carrie Brownstein or Mary Timony from Helium. I just think that they're very cool. It would be awesome to be the front woman in a band and be playing guitar. Let's see. Um, Name a fiction book with music at the center of the narrative. Okay. I'm going to go with Emily St. John Mandel's The Lola Quartet, which is a really, really good book. It's the only book by her that I have read. I do need to remedy that soon. I know that Kim was talking about The Glass Hotel and Sea of Tranquility just a few days ago. I've got those on my to-read list, but I've got Station 11 on my Kindle and I have not ever read it. I bought it when it came out and it got such big hype. I was like, I'm not going to read it because I'm going to hate it. But I had the Lola Quartet also, and I did read that and I loved it. And it's about this guy who is a journalist and he's sort of floundering in his career, and he's up in New York City and he gets fired and he goes to Florida. And when he's in Florida, his sister still lives there, and he hears about the disappearance of this young girl, and he sort of gets involved in this investigation of looking for this young girl, and it kind of takes him back into his past with these four friends that he had, and they were all part of the Lola Quartet. And the book moves through different points of view and different points in time, sort of telling the story of what happened and kind of giving you resolution around what happened with this girl. So it's very good. I'm not really doing it much justice here, but I'll put a link. I did review it for my written blog back in the day, and I'll put a link to that in the description box below, and you should go check it out because it's really good. And then finally, an end to my rambling, because I could have gone on and on and on about music, I promise you. Tag some people. So, okay, I'm going to tag Angelia at Read and Reread. I'm going to tag Sarah at Sarah Callsbeak. And I'm going to tag Sonya at An Enthusiastic Reader. And yeah, those are my tags. Those are the people I'm tagging. Tag your it. So get on it. Do your tag Tuesday. Tag two. Have fun with it. Get out there. Tell me about your favorite music. I love hearing about music people love. So I will also make a playlist. I'll make a playlist so that you can hear some of this music if you are so inclined. Okay, well, that's it. I hope you have a good Tuesday, and I will be back sometime later this week with a shout out video because I'm gonna pay it forward. I've been so lucky, and there's some good new YouTubers out there, and I want to spread the love. So I will see you later this week. Take care. Bye.